Hello, viewers. This is Dr. Basu. This is my first attempt at making and then hopefully uploading a video on YouTube for you to enjoy and possibly learn and benefit from. I sincerely hope this will be a long journey and a mutually fulfilling and rewarding one. Although I am from the field of medical science, I have varied interests, and the stock markets have always fascinated me for a very long time now. However, despite that, my plunge into the stock markets has been pretty recent. But my profession has allowed me to interact with all sections of people, and there is a time when patients become friends and they open up, and doctors get to know about their life, including their financial status, their plans, their hopes, their aspirations, their failures. And my patients have taught me a lot. I sincerely hope that I will be able to share whatever little I have learned from the people around me, from the great people of investment, through their videos and their books, and of course, my personal experience. The stock markets are a place which appear to be scary to many, particularly for the people who are from a non finance background like me. The stock markets is nothing short of an enigma wrapped in a puzzle and very, very intimidating. At the same time, enticing. Now, how does one look at the stock markets? As the late Rakesh Jhunjhunwala never tired of saying, the stock markets are not a place to make money, they are a place to multiply money. So, a person who comes to the stock market with the hope of making millions or crores with only his limited means may not find his journey very fulfilling. One needs to have a significant amount of money at his disposal to see the real gains of the stock market. If someone aspires to be the next Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, he needs to have money and he needs to have a lot of common sense, along with, of course, a lot of wisdom that only great books and great thoughts shared through videos or otherwise on the internet from the doyens of investment like Warren Buffett. So, the first step is to read up on whatever one can lay one's hands on the internet or the print media, whatever is available, so that one gets a proper perspective of the stock markets, what to expect from the stock markets, and how to go about investing in stocks. For someone who is not really interested into knowing the nitty-gritties of picking stocks, buying stocks at the right price, holding them for the right period of time, selling them off at the proper time, and so many other things, it would be better to consider buying mutual funds where you have very qualified fund managers who will take you money and then manage it wisely, ensuring that you have decent returns in the long run. But for someone who is willing to learn and for someone who is willing to multiply his money and really get involved in the process, taking the entire responsibility in his own hands and feel the thrill of the roller coaster ride of the stock markets. Stocks are the only option. The high that you get when your stock pick is at the right price and it goes up and up and multiplies your wealth and makes you richer every passing day is difficult to describe. At the same time, when the market crashes and the prices come tumbling down, and you find your investment going from, say, around 1 lakh to 10,000 in a week's time or even less, is very difficult to describe in words. One has to experience this ride, enjoy it, and stick with it. What do I plan to add to what is already available on the net or the YouTube or Facebook or whatever channel? There are several available nowadays. I plan to add a dimension to how one can look at earning from the stock markets without really going into the technicalities of the stocks, the chart patterns, the various other factors. They are important. You have to go through them, but there are certain aspects which may help you pick the right stocks even without going through all of that. I would not advise anyone to entirely depend on the methods that I hope to outline. But yes, you may consider these methods initially and then fine tune the stocks that you end up with so that you can pick one or two to end up with genuinely good gains. The stock markets are supposed to be a platform for gamblers by many. Let me start by saying this is not true. With the right amount of time invested into knowledge about the stock markets, you will gradually understand that gambling is for those who buy and sell stocks on hearsay without any effort, without any effort of their own regarding what to buy, what not to buy, what to hold, what not to hold, when to sell, when not to sell. There are certain basics of life which find reflection in the stock market. I will try to highlight them one after the other in my videos so that you may come to understand my viewpoint, appreciate it, and then possibly incorporate that method into your own method of stock picking. The first thing is what to expect from the stock markets. Will the stock markets constantly keep on increasing the amount that you have invested in them year after year, month after month, day after day? Well, the short answer is no. What goes up will come down, and likewise, what has come down will go up again. We have all been through the very, very sad times of COVID in 2020. The stock markets plummeted to an all time low. But for anyone who has bothered to go through the history of the stock markets from 2020 to 2024 beginning, we are in January now, will be surprised to know that for every single such unhappy, sad, or devastating event when the stock market has fallen beyond people's expectations, the recovery has been even more sensational. The stock markets, when they have come up, and believe me, they have come up, be it war, famine, COVID, whatever, the stock markets have overcome and they have bounced back and they have created wealth in the long term. The long term and the short term. How do you define the long term and the short term? These are topics of debate. But still, if one applies common sense and basic logic, one can find a working definition of the short term and the long term. The long term, as per many serious investors from whom we have learned the mantra or are supposed to learn the mantra of investing and wise investing is that the long term is never sell. That is practically infinity. You buy stocks, you hold them, the businesses flourish, your wealth keeps on growing. One fine day, when it is time for you to leave this world, you leave the stocks for your children or for whoever you wish to. And they continue to enjoy the wealth, then they again, instead of selling the stocks, hold them till their dying day and then they pass it on to the next generation. This is good to understand and listen to, but possibly not very practical. So, long term is something when at the end of a period you find that the business you have invested in by buying stocks is not showing any further growth. It will grow, but the growth is too slow for you to really feel that your wealth is increasing. So that may be 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, but on an average, the common saying is that it should be a period of at least 5 to 10 years. Let us go by around 8 years. Now, when one invests serious money into the stock markets, it is not always disposable income. Although that is how it is supposed to be. One is supposed to invest only disposable income into the stock market so that when dire need for money comes without knocking, unannounced at your door, you will have enough cash to tide over that circumstance without having to withdraw money from the stock markets. Because who knows, at that very point of time, the stock markets may be at an all time low. So, this is one thing, whatever savings one has, a part of it is to be kept away, is to be stashed away for tiding emergencies, and the other part is to be invested into the stock market for significant growth. Obviously, there are two forms of investment, everyone is aware. One is the debt, and the other is equity. So, the equity part is the stock market part, directly through buying stocks or indirectly through the mutual funds. The debt part is the government bonds, the national savings certificates issued by the government available at the post offices, and several other government schemes. The final amount of money at the end of a defined or predefined period of time will be available from the debt markets. There are certain debt funds also which help people earn that way. But the stock markets is for exponential growth of money. If one has really high expectations of creating wealth, if you are dreaming about a huge amount of money in your hands, the best way to go about that, the best way to make that dream come true would be, I suppose, through the stock markets. So, as we continue on this journey of my videos, I shall explain one by one how one may find what one dreams about through the stock markets. Thank you for giving me a patient hearing. Sincerely hope to be back with a new video very soon, and sincerely hope that all of you who have been with me throughout today will be back again. Thank you.